You go first.
What's different this time around, Dane, compared to the previous couple of prelims?
I think it's probably been well documented, but I think the experiences of what we've been through the last 4 years is certainly going to help us with the occasion. But I think the most important thing is we're playing the Carlton Football Club. You know, we need to get our system right, and if we do that, you know, and play that to the best of our ability, everyone does their roles. Certainly give us a great opportunity.
You taken much notice of the match earlier this year against Carlton in your preparation, or are you more concerned with the past month or so?
Yeah, probably their last 10 weeks, really. They sort of changed their game style up a little bit. You know, contest is still a real important part of their game for them, as it is for us. But they've certainly tweaked up a little bit on the offensive and defensive end that we've had to go back and have a little look at, which has really helped them get to the position that they're in. They've been fantastic in those departments, and those little tweaks of something that we've noticed.
How did Jack Payne look at training today?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, obviously he was out of his boot the other day. He had a bit of swelling in his ankle. I think Chief said the other day it's not uncommon that our players do that, take full precautionary. He ran today. Just had a shower with him. Probably too much information, but he seemed pretty good. So
he was jogging, but it looked more like me jogging on Tuesday.
Yep.
Be better than that.
Yeah, well, he was a bit better than that. Yeah, so yeah, Payne's always a difficult character to read, but from his expressions, yeah, he seemed pretty happy and optimistic.
He was so important against the Blues the last time. He put Charlie to sleep, didn't he, Charlie Kerr?
He's a very important player for us, there's no doubt about that, but if Payne wasn't to get up for whatever reason, we've certainly got players like Darcy Gardner, Dara Joyce that can come in, and we've seen this year do fantastic roles for us. So yeah, next man up mentality for us.
Is it one of those things, Zorks, that given it's a prelim, you kind of just have to roll with the dice in a sense, or if he's not 100%, you don't think they'd take the risk?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a decision for Fags and the medical group to really weigh up. Yeah, I mean, we've got fantastic players there ready to go if required. So obviously Payne's the number one, and has been all year. His rise in form has been fantastic and been a massive pillar to helping our defensive group get some results that they've been chasing this year. So yeah, but if that's not the case, the coaching group will come up with something else.
Is Jack Gunston one of those players?
He's forward, isn't he?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, we've seen him throughout his whole career being very versatile, not only at Hawthorn, but even this year we've seen him go back for us on occasion. So potentially, but Fags and the media and the footy department will go through their extensive 5-hour meeting this afternoon, no doubt, and come up with some game plans.
He brings something that this group doesn't have, is like that premiership that playing in that last weekend in September. He's done it successfully.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one thing that I think we've added to our group this year with experiences like Jack, obviously Josh, that have played in premierships and understand the occasions and the moments and all the experiences that come with that. So, yeah, he's certainly a major reason as to why Faye's got him to the club, is to bring those experiences and that, calmness and experience about playing in big games.
Looks like the Blues are going to play a couple of guys who might be a bit sore. Is that an opportunity to maybe expose them physically, target them, and take an advantage out of that?
Well, every team plays sore every week, to be honest with you. They've obviously just been more documented this week because they're really one of the only 2 games on over the weekend. So, we'll have sore players, they'll have sore players. It's a preliminary final, you don't need any motivation to get up, there's no doubt about that. So, we're expecting the absolute best out of every player. I think both teams play a very combative sort of style, very contested. So both teams will be match ready and hardened.
You talk about past experiences and learning from them. So what is it that you've learnt about making prelims so hard to win?
I guess for us, I touched on it earlier, it's about just playing the game and not so much the occasion. I think you can probably fall into the trap a little bit 2 times of looking too far ahead instead of just staying in the moment and getting the job done. And that's something that we addressed at the back end of last year. And once again, we've been over it, a little bit this week. So I think, all those experiences and those defeats over the last 4 or so years will hopefully program into everyone's head what not to do and get the desired outcome that we're chasing.
How important is this joint?
How important is the Gabba? Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, it's always great to play in front of your home crowd, but Carlton have got a massive supporter base as well, and fair fans travel. We've seen that. So yeah, look, it's obviously great to have a home ground advantage, but certainly won't get the job done for us.
They don't see country roads though. Carlton's.
Oh, I don't know, do they?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Well, hopefully Charlie gets to hear his song a couple of times.
That, I mean, we've never seen anything like that. That's I don't know. Do you feel it out there?
Yeah, well, obviously we understand the atmosphere that comes with it, but yeah, you're just probably focusing on the next contest, to be honest with you. Charlie seems to sing it and get pretty excited about it when it comes on, but I think everyone else is just locked in.
Thoughts a couple of young guys here have decided on their future. Have you thought beyond this year about what you'd like to do?
Yeah, Fish got a contract for him.
I'd sign you up.
Thanks, man. Well, hopefully Dom and the rest of the footy department sees that.
Have you had conversations about next year?
Yeah, yes and no, yep. Oh, obviously I'd love to play for as long as possible, and the team's in a really good position. So yeah, got into the system a little bit later, as Fakes tells me. Hopefully it means at the back end I can play a little bit more.
Do you feel like you're playing well enough to be playing on next year?
Yep.
Dane, what's been the key to your form since the injury? The way you've finished the year?
Well, I guess to me it's just understanding my role and doing what is needed for the team, and you know, in understanding moments in games and when I can impact, when I don't need to impact. I think that's been really something that I've learnt over the past 5 or 6 years under Fakes. So I think that's certainly helped, and you know, we've got such a great young group of kids coming through. Me helping them and guiding them through and stepping in when I need to has probably been, you know, something that I've tried to, add to my game a little bit.
Not being
your journey and your football story, what does it mean to you if you can play game 250 in a grand final?
Well, I don't want to look too far ahead, but it would be, obviously incredible. To play one game of AFL is a massive achievement. But yeah, to reach a milestone like that, where not a lot of players get that opportunity to do it, it's going to be pretty special. If it happens this year, then we'll be trying our absolute hardest this weekend to try and get there.
You know, growing up the Gold Coast, Southeast Queensland, we haven't seen a bigger weekend, a bigger day.
Yeah,
of footy.
yeah. I think it's great that not only us, but the Brisbane Broncos have had fantastic seasons as well. I mean, you can certainly feel the vibe around the city. Everywhere you walk and just go around. I mean, our training session the other day out at Springfield, the amount of people there supporting us was amazing. So there's certainly a buzz and that feel in the air. I guess it's over to both of our teams now to go out there and do our supporters proud.
There's some genuine love between you as well. Like, you've been in their sheds, they've come into yours.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really important that, you know, sports stars support sports stars. It's not every day that both your teams are in the finals, so get behind them and enjoy the moments.
You've got a couple of young fellas that are keen to stay on board. Like, that hasn't always been the case here. Are you proud of how the club's turned it around? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we're probably going back 9-10 years when those guys departed our club. But I think since then, we've really prided ourselves on being a massive family club, and I think, you know, when players come from interstate, like, we are their family. And it's been great to see how much effort the club's put in that department. And the players are now rewarding the club by staying, and they obviously love the vibe, they love the way they get coached, they love, you know, their teammates. So it's just awesome to see them all re-signing.
It's been almost had more good years than bad since then. Like, were you surprised how quickly you could change it? Because it was a pretty monumental shift there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it did happen really quickly, and you know, I think in the space of 3 years we went from last to second. So it did happen and change pretty quickly, but I think that just shows the dedication and the work, and nothing's ever as good as it seems, nothing ever as bad as it seems, and that's something that you know, Fakes hammers home to us all the time. And things can change really quickly, but at the moment we have a really good balance of on-field, off-field relationships, whatever you want to call it, culture. We're doing it well.
Dane, not being the captain this year, does that ease the sort of, you know, pressure on you in terms of the sort of build up to, you know, these big games?
Yeah, it has a little bit. Yeah, I think it's been great. Obviously, being able to have led the team over the past few years, I understand the vibe and the feel around the change rooms as well. So I can actually step in and sort of, you know, whether the team, if I feel like they're not switched on or whatever, I have a really good connection around the group as to understanding what and how everyone's feeling. So that's been great. But I think, you know, the way that Lockie and Harris have done it their way has been awesome as well. I mean, it speaks for himself. We're in another preliminary final, so everyone's bought into that. The change has been seamless, and it certainly helped with me just worrying about myself and getting my body right, and hopefully putting in the best performance for the team every week. Cheers, guys.